college football is far underway. At least some of it. We got the Big Ten and the Pac-12 coming up, and I think before those conferences get to playing, I ought to give you a re-update on some of the guys that have looked pretty good this season. So here is my current quarterback rankings list for the 2021 NFL Draft. Telling you some of these prospects, this quarterback class is very, very enticing. It's very good. There's a lot of really awesome guys. I'm going to give you my top 10 in this list. So if you want to see all of it, well, shoot, make your way to Fan Network. That's FTFN, baby. You'll see my expanded rankings where I include 25 prospects altogether as far as quarterbacks that I've been able to evaluate thus far. But before we get into this, what's crack-a-lacking? It's your boy Broshmo. Just in case you did not know, so go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. I put out a lot of content, so I really hope you do that. And leave this video a thumbs up. It really does help the video and helps the channel a ton. So really hope you do that. It would put a smile on this face. So without further ado, let's go ahead. Let's get into the list. We're going to start at 10. Sam Ellinger, man. Making his way on this list. I know it hasn't been a great year for Sam Ellinger, but he feels like that Colt McCoy type of prospect. He's a great college quarterback, but maybe a career backup or even a backup, like a third quarterback on the roster is kind of what I foresee for his future. That's the type of prospect I feel he is. His game, or at least a lot of his game, doesn't translate to the NFL. While he looks very athletic in college, I don't think that athleticism translates to being nearly as athletic in the NFL. He won't really be able to scramble a ton. And I mean, one of my biggest gripes with him is his pocket presence. The guy, if his first read ain't open, he is literally running towards the sideline, looking to scramble. He has taken some of the most sacks of any quarterback over the last 2 seasons. And I mean, by saying he's taken the most, I mean he has forced the most sacks upon himself. He doesn't have a great arm, but the thing is with him, why I have him at 10, he has developed year in and year out different parts of his game. Like last year, his deep ball accuracy got a lot better. I know it didn't look so great this past weekend in that Oklahoma game where the dude was he was 0 of 11 on shots of 20 yards or more. He was actually under 30% completion percentage when under pressure this past weekend against Oklahoma. So yeah, man, he's got borderline arm strength. He just doesn't really have the tools you look for when you're looking for a franchise quarterback, a top quarterback. But still, part of me still thinks he is still draftable here. I got a 5th round grade on him, but definitely in the later rounds. He does need to work on going through his progressions and just consistently deliver an accurate football. But like I said, the guy has developed year in and year out. So something to watch as this year goes on. I know Texas season is basically over, but just keep an eye on him. Kellen Mond coming here at 9, and I know a lot of y'all are probably sighing, but the thing is, the guy, he comes out of a pro style scheme that runs a lot of NFL concepts, so a lot of that will translate obviously to the NFL. He's got a decent arm. The thing is about him, he's a terrible decision maker. He needs to be a better decision maker, in my opinion. He's kind of nullified that this year. We'd be like, well, he is a better decision maker this year. But he's literally all his production's underneath. He's hardly taking shots downfield. The guy, he does have tremendous arm talent, but his knack of not really showing up in big games and a kind of a hot, cold accuracy. Honestly, I wouldn't spend no more than a 5th round pick on Mond. And then here at 8, I got Kenny Pickett out of Pittsburgh, a guy that I think might end up being fast rising if he continues his trajectory he has this season. And I mean, this is probably one of the first prospects watching this year that I'm like, I think I was wrong about this guy. Because last season, he did have a hot end to 2019. The thing was, to be fair to me, a lot of his deep balls, they were inaccurate, man. I thought his ball placement could have been much, much better. Well, guess what? This season, he's been pretty darn good. And the thing is, while I thought I would say he had a passable arm, the thing was he didn't have much zip. A lot of his downfield balls would kind of float. And I really think he's putting more zips on those passes, especially the passes 20 yards or more. He's become very deadly downfield. And this is a guy that's been very accurate underneath and in the intermediate. And like I said, if this guy's play continues, he can be a day 2 prospect. I've been very, very impressed with his development this season. And at 7, I had a prospect that I really liked. Brock Purdy, why you gotta do me like that, dude? He's had a terrible start to 2020. It started with the Louisiana game, and he hasn't really looked much better since. And I talked about it in my Fast Rising and Fallen prospects video a few weeks ago, where he just had a really dumb fumble that I think, it counted as a fumble. It looked like he was trying to throw the ball away, and he threw it backwards. It was just bad. But the guy, based on, if we were taking out his 2022 tape, he does play like a kind of grizzled old gunslinger, kind of like the Brett Favre type. He doesn't have the best arm talent, or at least the strongest arm, but he does deliver typically a very accurate ball. He's been very consistent inside and outside of structure. But like I said, man, the beginning of this season has been pretty bad, and a lot of this leads me to believe that he might end up coming out in the 2022 NFL draft. But as of right now, I got him here on this list as a 3rd rounder. And then at 6, I got Jamie Newman out of Georgia, kind of out of Georgia. I mean, he opted out this season. I think that really hurt him. I have him as a 2nd rounder because that's what I had him going into the season, anticipating him playing. And I don't feel right moving him up or down. I think he's just going to kind of stay here for now until we really start the off-season process. So what is there to like about Jamie Newman? He's last season, 2019, he was one of the most accurate deep ball throwers in all of college football. He was 6th in catchable throws. The guy was just, like I said, very, very phenomenal. And I thought the move to Georgia would be great. He would move hopefully away from an RPO heavy scheme there at Georgia and really show off that he can make those intermediate to short throws and retain that accuracy. He will not do that. He opted out. He will not get that opportunity. So again, I'm going to keep him here based on how much I really liked his 2019 film. But before we get into 1 through 5, go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoy the video. And if you're looking for the remainder of my rankings, the expanded rankings, you go to fan2fannetwork.com. It'll be there. I'll leave the link in the description, and it is the pinned comment. So go ahead and do that. So let's start here at 5, and it's Zach Wilson at BYU, and I have a 1st-round grade on him. He is not facing top-tier competition by any means. But we could say that, we could say a lot of that. We can actually say the exact same that about a guy, Trey Lance, who will appear later on this list. But the arm has been put on display. His arm talent is phenomenal. Some of the throws he's made this season, non-special quarterbacks can't make those throws. Zach Wilson seems to be special. He's got special arm talent. He could really place the ball wherever he wants. He's been lights out. Going into this weekend, he had a adjusted completion percentage of 90% in 2020. And I mean, this is coming off an injury-plagued 2019. He, like I said, not facing top-tier competition, but he's making NFL-type throws, and he's doing it with ease. I'm very impressed. And straight up, this guy could sneak into the top 15 just based on that arm talent alone. And then at 4, Kyle Trask, man. He's been setting freaking college football on fire with that Florida offense. Fortunately, the defense refuses to show up for Trask. But it is what it is. But things you like about him, he had the prototypical look when it comes to quarterback size, height. He's got an NFL arm, and he was a guy going into this year was like he really needs to show out. Last year was his first year as a starter, so you kind of anticipate he would be much better, and he really has. He's been taking those shots downfield when last year he really chose not to. He would just stay like a statue in the pocket, and like that's another thing that's improved. His pocket mobility, his pocket presence. He moves while he's by no means a great athlete. He does maneuver the pocket very, very well. Kind of reminiscent of a Big Ben, but Big Ben, man, he got some wheels though. Kind of, sorta. But like I said, this guy's taking more shots downfield, and the thing I really like seeing is the more shots he's taking downfield, it's not resulting in an uptick in turnover-worthy passes. So honestly, another guy who he's got the arm talent and he's been putting it on display. I don't think a bad game really will hurt him much this season because with that defense, I feel like he's going to be put in a lot of positions where he's going to be having to throw the ball. He's going to be having to come from behind, and that's not where you want your quarterback to be. So he might be put in bad predicaments that may lead to more risque throws. But as of now, Kyle Trask, I really think he is a top 15 to top 20 type of prospect. The only reason he doesn't really get close to the other three is he ain't that athletic. On to 3, Trey Lance out of North Dakota State. And like I said with Zach Wilson, I would dare say Zach Wilson may have a better arm. It's really the potential of Lance that puts him up here. Like, he's got a cannon for an arm, and he is by far the most athletic quarterback in this class, barring like a Derek Keene, who's I really think is not going to end up being a quarterback when he goes to the NFL. But the guy, he took FCS football by storm last year. He threw no interceptions to 29 touchdowns. Then he had a showcase game. I don't really think it did much to hurt or help him, maybe more so hurt him, because he put the athleticism on display, but no one ever doubted his athleticism. It was really not the arm strength, but the arm talent. Like, he's a guy still developing. He can't make every type of throw. Like, his arm is capable of it. It's just he's not there. And as far as his development, his process is being able to read defenses and such. And obviously the level of competition is a big concern. Like, that showcase game was against Central Arkansas. You would expect him to just be licking his chops, licking his fingers, but he didn't come away from that game looking like someone that just devoured the carcass of team that didn't deserve his presence. He didn't really light it up when it came to him as a passer. But again, this is a guy I really think with a little bit of refinement, maybe a year behind a more veteran quarterback, could really, really help him. The guy's got the upside. Justin Fields coming in here at number 2. I think him playing, because I would say he would be, let's be honest. Okay, Trevor Lawrence, he's number 1. I thought these guys were a lot closer coming into the season until Trevor Lawrence began playing. I think once Fields starts playing again, they might become a little closer, but I think he's kind of the unanimous 2 at this point. I really do like Fields because what he does in a offense that kind of is screen and underneath heavy, he does take shots. His average depth of target was over 4 yards more than it was with Dwayne Haskins. See, Dwayne Haskins, he relied a lot on dumping it off and having his receivers do the work. That ain't what Fields does, dude. He is one of the most accurate quarterbacks when it came down to passes 10 yards or more, or passes directed towards the sideline. He is very good. Throws with a lot of zip. He's got very good mobility and athleticism. Probably, I think my biggest gripe with him is he could be a little too conservative with the ball. But again, that could be just be the circumstance as far as that's kind of what that offense does. They're typically pretty conservative when it comes to their passes. But he's a top 5 pick. You could try to argue that, but I think you're gonna find it hard pressed that not many people will agree with that. The dude's a top 5. Trevor Lawrence at 1, of course. The dude, this 2020 season has just been the Trevor Lawrence showcase of arm talent. It has been beautiful. Like, one of the prettiest passes I've seen all year was one he just dropped at the back of the end zone for, like, I think it was like 30 or 40 yards. Granted, it was against Citadel, but it wasn't really because of the competition. It was a beautiful throw. It was a beautiful throw. This guy is one of the most sought out prospects since, like, an Andrew Luck. This guy's been highly regarded since high school. A lot of people give him a knock. It's like, well, his 2019 wasn't that good. No, it was the first 3 weeks of his 2019 was that good, because then after that, no one ranked higher outside of Joe Burrow than Trevor Lawrence. The guy, he can do it all, whether it's inside or outside of structure. He can do it with his feet. Against Ohio State in the playoffs last year, he had 4 broken tackles, went for over 120 yards. Like, the guy's ridiculous. Like I said, this season's been just a showcase of that arm talent. He is, I don't care what team you are, he is the number 1 pick. I don't care if it's Atlanta, the Jets, Jacksonville. You're Pickett. I don't care if you're the Giants. Well, we got Daniel Jones. He ain't Trevor Lawrence. You don't pass on Trevor Lawrence. But that's it for the video. Go ahead, do that YouTube thing. It's always much appreciated, much obliged. And as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.